I recently came across a video by Alex Cheddar and his game called Do Not Find the Fox. Starting from the top left corner, you place random tiles trying to avoid getting the word fox in any direction. His video is a breakdown of the probability of winning depending on the setup. It's really interesting and I encourage you to check it out. However, when I went to his website to give it a go, I quickly got bored. In spite of how interesting his probability analysis was, I couldn't make myself go through more than a couple rounds of the game. This is because in essence, I don't think this is a game really. There's no meaningful decision here. You randomly click through until you manage to avoid getting the word fox, or you give up. It's like playing tic-tac-toe with yourself, but you toss a coin on what the next move is. It could be argued that it's an idle game like Cookie Clicker, but here I have absolutely no agency from beginning to end. The only way to willingly achieve the game goal is not to play in the first place. That got me thinking, how would you make it a game? What changes could be made, straying as little as possible from the initial concept, to make it what I would consider a game? My first thought was to let the player place the drawn tile anywhere on the board. As Alex points out in his video, however, there's multiple ways to lay out the tiles without making the word fox. If you can figure them out ahead of time, you're sure to win each time. This would turn Do Not Find the Fox into a puzzle, which again, is not a game. Okay, so what if we allow the player to freely choose the position of only the first couple of tiles, and later they have to build on that, let's say by only placing new letters adjacent to tiles that are already revealed? I feared this would quickly reveal dominant strategies that would lead to repetitive gameplay, or good versus bad openings that would cause players to reset if they're dealt a bad initial hand. Both of those are manageable with additional rules, but I feel like the charm of the initial concept is simplicity in rules that hides a mathematical complexity, like solitary tic-tac-toe with letters. Solitary. What if it wasn't solitary, and instead we played against an opponent? Taking turns, players draw a tile and place it anywhere on the board, trying to get the other person to spell out fox. This might work, but we already have tic-tac-toe at home, along with a dozen other similar games. Back to the drawing board. How can we turn this into a meaningful decision? I feel like it doesn't matter which tile I click. I went through the code of the website to check whether the tile values are predetermined or whether the next letter is generated regardless of where you click. But then I remembered I can't read code and gave up. I kind of really want to peek under the tiles though. Wait, that's it. What if I was allowed to see some of the tiles? Depending on the number of times each letter repeats and depending on what the current layout is, I may decide to play it safe and use a known letter, or I may want to risk a random tile and save the face-up tiles for later down the line. All it takes now is balancing the number of face-up tiles to reach that sweet spot of skill versus chance. Actually, if we apply the same principle to the initial idea, we can get around the puzzle issue. Sure, if I can place a revealed tile anywhere on the board, I can guarantee a win. But if I have to place the tile first and only then reveal it, each turn is a calculated gamble. And I have to keep an eye on the grid to make sure I'm not setting myself up for failure later down the line. I think I like this one the best. It's a small departure from the original, but it opens a world of possibility. Again, I encourage you to watch Alex's video and go try the game yourself. I'm curious how my change would affect the probabilities he talks about in his video. Oh, by the way, here's me accidentally winning the game on my first attempt while trying to capture footage of losing.